Bad style in the summer is like cooking at the grill with the wrong ingredients. You've got great food, you got the fire going, but without the right seasonings or the right technique, you end up just burning a lot of stuff. And what's worse is if you are supposed to be the man with the plan, you're supposed to be the chef that everybody looks to for good food, it can be a devastating blow to your reputation. Most men treat summer style like it's optional, but you know you can't do that in business. I hear a lot of guys say it's the summertime, everything is a little bit more relaxed. I'm going on vacation. I don't need to dress to impress. And I'm not gonna lie, I used to think like that too until I got jolted back into reality when me and my wife were on our honeymoon in Costa Rica. Now, I was in t shirts, a lot of board shorts, because I didn't really prepare sartorially to go to Costa Rica. But I was like, I'm on vacation, it's my honeymoon. And I was cool until we met an expat there who was running a business. And he told us that he was selling it so that he could go back to his home country. Now, while we were interested, and we probably weren't going to go forward with it anyway, I didn't ever follow up with them. Not because I didn't think that it was viable or something that I would be interested in. It was because I didn't feel presentable. Now, I know some of you guys are thinking, who cares? Money talks. But here's the problem that a lot of guys overlook. Confidence talks before money does. I'm sure you found yourself with some success, some wins. You may be even elevating throughout the company. But have you ever walked into a space with people that you aspire to be like, only to look and then feel out of place? What does that do for your ability to network, to confidently engage? And what's worse is when you're actually looking good, but you're wearing the wrong items and you end up looking and feeling uncomfortable. And the heat is because of sweat stains that diminish your stellar look. So let me ask you this. What's the most uncomfortable summer style mistake you've ever made? Was it a sweat stained shirt on a business lunch? A pair of dressy shoes that ruined your whole casually elegant conference or networking experience? Well, let's fix that like I've done for over 500 clients. I want you to try this on and see how it fits you. Now, before we start talking about clothes, I want you to really understand the effects that heat has on you because it affects more than your body, it affects your mind. Studies show that once temperatures rise above 77 degrees, our decision making gets worse, our tempers shorten, and our confidence visibly drops. So that means people can literally see when you're uncomfortable. But when you dress intelligently for the heat, you lower your temperature psychologically and physically, you look sharp, you move calm, and you lead without saying a word. This is how you create presence with no sweat. And here's a secret that a lot of guys actually miss. This has nothing to do with you showing skin. That's right. You don't have to wear shorts or short sleeves. I'm not really a big fan of it myself. Long sleeves aren't always hotter. You've been lied to when you've been told in the summertime you need to be wearing cotton t-shirts and polyester performance polos. Look at men in the Middle East. When I went to Dubai, Emirati men wore a long flowing robe in bright white called a kandara. Not to cover up, but to reflect heat, to allow airflow, and to move with the sun, not fight it. I'm not gonna hold you. It was one of the most comfortable garments that I could have worn while I was there. So if you're sweating in short sleeves, now you realize it's not about the sleeve length. It's about fabric, it's about fit, and it's about flow. We'll talk about that more in an upcoming video. Now, let's take it a little bit deeper because some styles should change based on where you are, not just what the calendar says. So if you're a guy who lives in the Northeast, think New York, Boston, Philly, or DC, it gets hot and humid with aggressive sunlight and big temperature swings. So it may be cool in the morning, but could be sweltering by the afternoon. So you need versatile layers that can be removed without collapsing your outfit. If you live in the Southeast, think Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, New Orleans, you're gonna have long, humid days with high sunlight. Here, we want breathable elements that are going to be our primary power pieces. Now, if you're in a northwestern climate, think Seattle, Portland, or Denver, you're probably going to have cooler mornings from that mountain air. You're probably going to have moderate sun, but you may have some adjustments in the weather, right? Some occasional drizzle or heavy rain. So you want to think about weatherproof layering where you're looking good and also staying dry. So if you're in the Southwest, Phoenix, Las Vegas, parts of LA, or Texas, you're usually going to be dealing with dry or humid heat, high sun, and extreme exposure. It's even hot at night. So for you, you need to think loose and breathable. Yes, long sleeves, just like the Emirati men, are going to be beneficial to you. Your climate isn't just your backdrop. It's the thermostat for your mood and for your day. So make sure you're looking and feeling good. So let's start simple and think about the summer and day-to-day moves that the summer brings. The office is often lax because people are going on family trips or they're hanging out with friends. The city is buzzing with festivals, celebrations, and all kinds of outdoor activities for people to socialize. And you may even find yourself working out of the office most days. This is a time where I always say, like, these cities will often come alive. And this is usually because the days are longer, which invites you to stay out and mingle. So when you think about how your summer is structured, you can dress for it. Just because it's summer doesn't mean that you shouldn't be showing up for business. Now, I want you to pause and ask yourself, when was the last time you actually looked at your summer wardrobe as a system and not just a pile of shorts and tank tops? Do your pieces work together, or are you just throwing on whatever you think will keep you the coolest? If you're doing the latter, that's hustling backwards. You've probably seen the basics of summer wardrobes before, and there's nothing wrong with those. The navy chinos or paperweight denims, the white tee, the OCBD collars that every guy should have, a great pair of performance or tech polos, a pair of khaki shorts, right? All of these things that are going to be basic. Even the hybrid sneakers and the hopsack blazer that everybody talks about, it's cool. It works. But you know that that's not really going to get it when you want to separate yourself. What we're going to talk about today is really about upgrades. Fewer pieces, but a better presence. So here are 8 items that work interchangeably together and immediately update a wardrobe for business casual. So the first item is a navy lightweight trouser. Now, this could be a summer Australian wool or could be a great option like a Meyer tropical wool pant in a light navy or high denim blue. Now, the Meyer tropical wool pants are cool pieces, literally and figuratively, because they are relatively easy to care for. You can literally throw these wool pants into the wash and just put them on no air dry. And the look will provide a effortless elevation when you're transitioning from work to the evening. The next piece is a drawstring or gather brace trouser. Now, a lot of guys have said that they feel like this is too casual for work until we put them on. If you choose a cream, a golden tan, or a chocolate brown in heavier linens, most will just think that you're wearing casual trousers, especially when you add some of these other elements to the list. So I had a mentor, Alan Flusser, and for the longest time, he used to wear these tuxedo pants, but he had adjusted them with 2 white lines on the side. And I remember that used to be the dopest thing because he would wear it with his dress shirt. And it wasn't until he pulled back his jacket one day that I saw something that really threw me off. Adidas. He had been wearing track pants that were perfectly tailored to fit him for his Belizean loafers the whole time. Now, I'm not telling you to do that. That's a lie, man. That's definitely not for freshmen. But if you have a gathered waist linen pant, now you have something that will elevate your look, much like Flusser's was doing for his. And you can find some great selections of these with a brand called Eleventi or Eleventi for some of you guys who may be aware of it. The next one is a plain linen shirt. Now you can do this in white, blue, lavender, mint green, sage, right? These are perfect for the days when you're going to be in the heat. Remember that linen breathes well, but it's going to wrinkle. And what a lot of guys don't think about is that it's going to expand. So you can get a slightly smaller size as long as it fits your shoulders and make sure that you press it at the start of the day. And that way it will look better the more the wrinkles come throughout the day. One of the shirts that I always recommend in this space is Stenstrom's for a dressy casual piece. Now, one of my favorite fabrics for the heat is an extremely porous cotton fabric that looks almost translucent until you put it on. And that is Giro Inglese fabric. Instead of an OCBD, opt for a button-down collar in this fabric. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, most of the time you're only going to find this in white, pink, or blue, but I'm not going to hold you. That'll get you through most of the week for most guys. But if you do find them in a different color, make sure you cop those. Or you can have them custom made. And an amazing company called Emmanuel Berg does those best. The next item that a lot of guys should employ for their summer wardrobe is knit polos. It's a great addition for your business casual wardrobe just in general, but it can be as conservative or as expressive as you want it to when they come as button downs, Johnny collars, camp collars, and with all types of colors, textures, and patterns. And a dope way to make it your own is to get it customized. And my man Tailored Bone of tailoredbone.com does that as well. So the next one is something that I still do find value in, and that's an unstructured, breathable blazer. But here's the truth. It should be custom. Why? Because a linen jacket looks nothing like a bamboo jacket or a mesh wool or a lightweight cotton gabardine. So your needs, climate, and movements will determine what's best for you. And I would hate for you to have to wait for a trend to come back around for you to find what you need. But when you do this, make sure that you're shopping with a professional who understands construction, textiles, and fit so that you don't end up with something that you thought you would love, but you ultimately hate or doesn't serve your need. All right, despite what some of my friends say, I actually don't have an issue with you wearing casual shorts, but I kind of take the Tom Ford model that shorts should only be worn for sports or at the beach or at a cookout or a festival, right? And the goal is to not look like you're trying too hard, but to make sure that they fit you well. This is not hoochie daddy season, and you shouldn't be wearing shorts that don't match your leg or your shape. But I do encourage for you to have some fun colors and think of this as your casually approachable fit. You look at a great brand called Deeks for some short options, but please, 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 please don't ever wear jorts. So the next thing that a lot of guys should benefit from is a unlined loafer. Now this can be in leather or suede. Now unlined loafers are often misunderstood because fellas think that they can't wear loafers casually unless they're drivers or deck shoes. But because these types of shoes are unlined, the shoe will flex, move, and breathe almost like it's a second skin. You don't have to break it in, and they don't look too dressy. So you can dress them up, but you can also dress them all the way down with your pieces, especially if you're doing something in a light or medium brown. Now, DiBianco makes a great version of this. So that's where I would go. So the next piece is something that a lot of guys sleep on if they even really know about them, and that's espadrilles. Now, most people will tell you you can just wear them at the beach, but in the city, if you want a alternative to sneakers, then this is a great option. But with espadrilles, more than a lot of other shoes, make sure that you're getting quality, because if you have poor quality, you're gonna have foot pain. Check out an interesting company that I just came across recently called Scoroso. They have some great options and they still will look appropriate for business casual. Now, here's one that I almost didn't put up because I knew that some fellas are gonna say, what? That's way too dressy. But this is a solid navy summer suit. Not a standard suit, but a summer suit. Now you can get this in wool silk linen, or even seersucker. And because the fabric is less saturated, it's going to give a less formal look, but will still be breathable, versatile, and elegant. And you can wear this with t-shirt, button down, knit polo, or a dress shirt, and with loafers, espadrilles, or your sneakers. Now, again, this is something that I would recommend making if you can, especially if you're thinking about weddings, dates, or rooftops, or investment meetings. And that's because this will serve whatever your needs are. And it's a great return on your investment. Now, I want you to take note. This is the non-sponsored video, and I'm familiar with these brands that I've given you, but I don't get to frequently wear them all. So take that with a grain of salt. This is what we talk about when we talk about dressing smart. Your wardrobe shouldn't fight you. It should adapt to any and every environment that you find yourself in. So if you think about all of these elements, you're going to really create something that's beautiful. And your summer present should feel effortless even when the heat is on. So now that you try this on and seen how it fits you, I'm going to show you in the next video some business casual brands that you can leverage for the summer or any other time of the year. I actually mentioned one of these earlier, so make sure that you stay tuned, and I hope this fits you well.